Oh, right.
Mr. Konoe, the Emma app developed by your company Medice has become immensely popular all around the world.
Welcome back to Persona 5 Strikers, where, once again, this particular talk show has lost all its credibility. Because why is it that, again, every single guest they have on this show is a villain?
With Japan's creative industries starting to reach their limits, it's wonderful to hear about such a remarkable breakthrough in AI technology.
This is so much more relevant now.
I hear many have high expectations for you as a leading figure in this country, Mr. Konoe.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm all that. I do plan to do the best I can, though. The world is about to undergo a massive transformation, and I'm hoping to steer it in the right direction. Oh, thank you. You're too kind.
Well, sounds like you've got their support. That reminds me. I've heard that Emma's servers are kept at the Tokyo Radio Tower. Way back when, the Tokyo Radio Tower was used to usher Japan into a new era of communication. Perhaps this time around, Emma will play a similar role and bring us into the age of AI.
Yes, that's certainly the idea. As of now, AI is still a fledgling technology, but I've no doubt that it's going to make all of our lives that much easier.
Again, this game's social commentary just ages... Yeah, I want to say it ages like wine, but then I'm like, hang on, it's kind of like become... Because like today's state of AI is really worrying, so maybe I shouldn't say that.
And as a testament to that, it's worth noting there were several areas that openly lamented the halt in Emma's service the other day. Why do you think the Phantom Thieves would target Emma of all things?
Naturally, Emma holds a vast amount of personal data. Perfect target for a gang of crooks, if you ask me.
I mean, by that logic, you also have access to all of that personal data.
Or perhaps they're just opposed to my ideas of AI making the world a better place. All that talk about them being champions of the meek and downtrodden is likely no more real than those cheap masks they hide behind. They threaten anyone they disagree with, and rob them of their free will if they don't comply. Evil people performing evil deeds. Nothing more.
Psychological projection much?
We won't be defeated by some ragtag group of petty criminals. I'm more than determined to battle their injustices to the very end.
It is interesting, though, in the fact that, like I said earlier, this game kind of deconstructs the whole idea of the change of heart the Phantom Thieves do. Konoe is the absolute encapsulation of that.
Mr. Konoe, you held a press conference the other day and mentioned your distinct hatred for the evils of this world. Might that stem from personal experience?
Yes, I suppose you might say that. As a child, I was caught in a rather unfortunate incident in which I lost someone very close to me. I'd wager it was that incident that caused me to harbor such disdain for wrongdoing. However you look at it, I can't allow the Phantom Thieves to continue doing as they please.
I couldn't agree more. I think we'd all like to see this Phantom Thieves case resolved as soon as possible.
So we'll likely find out all about that once we reach his trauma cell.
That explains the whole hero show thing.
Bastard! Where's he get off with all that shit?
Yeah, but he's got a crapload of people behind him. He's trending like you wouldn't believe on social media.
Oh no, please tell me it's not like hashtag Akira is justice, hashtag Akira is bae, hashtag bedroom eyes.
Have all those people had their hearts changed too?
No, it's not like it was with Natsume. These are just regular old fans.
I mean, given that he's such a huge influence and Emma has really helped a lot of people's lives, that would make sense.
So everyone's being won over by Konoe's charm without ever knowing what he's really like.
When is it any different for anyone with Targeted?
His track record with Medice certainly is impressive.
Oh, come on! The guy's full of shit!
Without knowing who he is on the inside, he probably seems like he really cares about making the world a better place.
This isn't much different from what happened with Shido.
Well, people do tend to pick the safer choices in life.
Is that true?
In a life of nothing but decisions, there's always a fear of not knowing what comes next. Without knowing what lies in store, people often end up turning to the thing that gives them the best answer.
What does this remind you of?
So when it comes down to it, they're more inclined to latch on to whoever's going to make things easier.
Like, you might think that this is sort of a very poor assessment of people, but when you think about it in terms of, like, AI assistants like Emma, and how there are a lot of things like that in the real world, and especially how technology is advancing and it's kind of taking away a lot of the burden of things in our lives, like, it almost, like, this isn't quite the same thing, but I was just remembering that, like, people who have, like, Roombas and those kind of robot cleaners, they often miss out on the exercise that they need. As you leave more and more of your life down to technology, then you do start to kind of give up, you know, what makes you human, I guess.
First it was Shido, and now it's Konoe. Actually, this might be even worse, seeing as Emma is a lot more up close and personal with people.
Well, I mean, I don't know. If Shido was anything like most 2016 onwards politicians, he probably did have a social media presence, so likely people were still getting bombarded with his crap every time they went on the internet.
But is it really okay to live like that? Leaving everything up to something else?
Now, this also might remind you of something else from the original Persona 5. Something in the final dungeon of vanilla P5, let's just say.
Well, the truth is, not everyone believes in themselves enough to do otherwise. Not like I'm one to talk. But that's why we're exposing the real villain here. So we can bring those people back to their senses.
Right. We can't let them change everyone's hearts for their own schemes anymore.
We're gonna tear down that stupid jail of his, and then I'm putting my foot straight up his... Oh, maybe we hold off until we get some grub, yeah?
You gotta be kidding me.
That certainly cut the tension. Now that you mention it, I'm hungry too. We were running around in that jail for quite some time.
Yeah, canonically that all happened over the course of one day. That and all of the cooking Zenkichi side quests.
Dinner time! What'll it be? We are in Osaka, so we'd be crazy not to do takoyaki, right?
Well, hopefully we know what's in the takoyaki this time.
That sounds nice. We've been wanting to walk around and try a little of everything, honestly.
Food crawl, I guess? Also, this sounds amazing.
Whoa, going kinda overboard on the toppings, don't you think?
That was only worth one music note. Evidently the food was not very good. And hopefully this is not Russian roulette takoyaki.
So good! Oh yeah, no trip to Osaka is complete without him.
Just, did Max Middleman request that he got, like, all these imitate eating lines or something? He's really good at them, but, like, there's a lot of them he gets.
I'm actually surprised. Each shop really does taste different.
Looks like trying a bunch of different places was a good call.
We really did a takoyaki crawl.
Oh, so this is the authentic Osaka flavor. And best of all, it's affordable.
Aren't you gonna have some, Mona?
It's too hot for me right now. I'll just have some once it cools off.
Also, just like, look, Mona's tail is, like, right slapping into Makoto's head.
I'm sorry you can't join in with us, Sophia.
Well, I am an AI. I'll just have to make do with the data.
Don't let it get you down, Sophia. We'll bring some to the jail later.
Really?
That was, like, the most adorable really ever.
Thank you.
Man, traveling around and chowing down like this is the freaking best! Would have been nice if Gramps could have tagged along.
He was close enough to make it home, so I think he wanted to go see Akane-chan. She was probably waiting for him, too.
I hope they get more time with one another once this case is settled.
Yeah, and then Gramps can shower Akane in gifts and treat her like a princess and stuff.
I wonder if he'll be allowed time off after all this.
There's something I still don't understand. Why did Konoe bother to create the jails in the first place?
Wasn't it because that Owada dude told him to?
I don't think that was the only reason. We heard in his jail that he wanted to save people, didn't we?
Yeah. One look around his jail, and it's clear that he totally believes in what he's doing. He thinks he's the perfect embodiment of justice.
It's true. He does see himself as a hero. Are you suggesting he isn't acting for his own gain?
At the very least, he must have his own reasons for taking part in all of this.
We'll know for sure once we meet the Monarch face to face. For now, let's just focus on the problem at hand.
Yeah, you're right. We'll eat up and get our strength back for today.
Well, I'm taking the rest then.
As if, like you really need all that.
Hey, it's first come, first served at this point. You guys better hurry before I swipe it all.
I, Haru Okumura, accept your challenge.
Wait, I want some too.
And so the ultimate battle over Octopus begins. And we don't get to explore Osaka at night, sadly. Because it's going to skip straight to the next day, we're going to be heading back in. And I like how there's even takoyaki on the screen there. Actually, now that I mention it, there are, like, icons of Morgana in different, like, outfits for every location you visit in Strikers. I can't believe I've actually shown those before. Okay. Interesting, I'd forgotten about... I actually forget what this Ryuji thing is, but also we have 3 more requests. Elegant Experiment Extended. 12 enemies in a single showtime. Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, let's do it.
Oh, this one actually unlocks Safecracker, if I remember right. In the Kyoto jail.
Time to get to work. You're doing this one?
And this one is a Thief's Challenge for the Okinawa jail. This one is actually sort of a pain.
Okay, let's do our... You're accepting this request?
Oh, we can actually complete Junk Collection, finally.
Mission
And get a Rune Amulet. Oh, we've done 50 requests now, nice.
Yo!
I'm guessing that Rune Amulet is something like to do with increasing magic. Yep, it's a magic +5. How about you take that?
Does that mean...
Well, they certainly do if Majima throws them off the bridge, which he's probably done in the past.
How's it going?
Osaka was Majima's area, right? Not Kiryu's in Yakuza 0. I actually own that now, but I haven't actually played it yet. Because I haven't finished Like a Dragon. Yeah, I'm going to be doing Like a Dragon, and I'm going to be jumping back to Yakuza 0. Which I have watched bits of in a stream. But okay, Ryuji, what were you talking about? Ryuji, you didn't happen to get this in a very suspicious dark alley, did you? Yep, this is going exactly where we think it's going. Oh.
Why not?
I was hoping there would be an actual recipe. That would have been cool. Oh, and let's touch the feet. That sounds weird out of context, but it means get more bond points.
Amazing. Hey.
Yeah, that made me think of Disney's Wish, though, which I've heard very bad things about. I mean, it's probably just mediocre at absolute worst, but yeah.
I can feel something.
What? Indeed.
I mean, if it's food, Yusuke probably wants to eat it. Is that like a food kendo person? Hey there, Mako-chan. Now, I don't think I've actually ever tried takoyaki in my life, which is kind of weird because I feel like I'd probably like it. I like calamari. Don't know how similar that is, though. I mean, calamari's squid, takoyaki's octopus. Yes! Yes, it does! However, it's pretty obvious it's not really the final dungeon. And that's all you have to say. So, okay then, it is time for us to head back into the jail. Are you ready? It's been a long time coming, but it's finally time. We're gonna hear Daredevil again.
Hell yeah! That takoyaki really hit the spot!
That was not the first thing I expected them to say during this epic infiltration.
Seems like everyone's up and at 'em. Let's get back to the castle.
But yeah, some people have noted that it looks kind of similar to the Shinra building from Final Fantasy VII, and I guess that fits. I guess we rode the airship again off screen. Yeah, I love the way you can see that ominous tower in the distance.
Nothing on my radar. Looks like we're safe for now.
Well, there's about to be something on the radar. Kind of a bunch of mini-bosses and not-so-mini-bosses, and with this, I do believe I probably need a lot of curse skills. Curse and nuclear. I do have some nuclear on me. Just gonna get away and get a bit of a better vantage point going. Oh, there's a bunch of regular enemies there. That was what I was wondering. I was like, wait, did the different parts of Norn just break off? But no. So, something that some people have pointed out about this dungeon, in fact, is there seems to be a much larger number of regular, like, generic shadows than there usually are. Like, normally you see a lot of horde shadows, like Jack Frost's, or in the previous dungeon, wow, that Norn died quickly, holy crap. Or in the previous dungeon, Copper Tengus, but here there's a lot of these regular just guard shadows. The reason for that, is okay, I have a theory as to what the reason for that is. And that is that most of the shadows in this dungeon are iconic gods, like Norn, Ganesha, Sarasvati. They don't really work as a horde enemy. Whereas early dungeons had things like Jack Frost, Slime, things that worked a lot better as massed hordes they could spam. And that's why I think we're seeing mostly generic security guards in these places. At the same time, that's kind of fit for it being Medusa's home turf, but still.
Guess that hero show or whatever's wrapped up.
I wonder what it was like. Kind of curious, honestly.
Oh, you wanna go see one sometime? We can go to a Featherman show.
Well, yeah, I'd certainly like to see what those look like, because I know that Torma's hero shows in Tokyo Mirage Sessions, which I've referenced earlier,
Once we get in the castle,
were pretty interesting.
we're headed straight for the roof. Are you ready?
Are we seriously gonna lose, Daredevil now?
Alright, let's go. Alright, the coast is clear. Let's make a break for the top.
I'm kinda surprised how easy it was to get inside.
On, never say that. The moment you say that, bad things start happening.
A little quiet for a castle. That's not normal, is it?
I don't think so.
I've got a bad feeling about this. This is usually when everything goes wrong.
What's this light?
You know, maybe you should have avoided stepping in the giant circle in the middle of the room, just saying.
It's so pretty. But what is it doing?
Whatever it's doing, it can't be good.
Intruders detected. Executing forced removal.
Wait, is this thing a teleporter?
Okay, my first thought went to just Disintegration Ray. That's a little better.
It's a freaking trap. We gotta bail.
Wait, Skull, if you try to leave the circle...
You'll get ripped apart?
You gotta be shitting me.
What? What happened?
It seems we've been forcibly teleported somewhere.
Ugh, I don't feel so good. I think I'm warp sick.
What, so we're locked up? Ah, man. I feel like getting caught's all we ever do anymore.
It's only happened like twice. Oh, actually kind of once with Alice, so yeah, it's happened a lot.
We have to get out of here, and quickly.
Hey, just try to stay calm. In times like these, the best thing to do is to carefully check your surroundings.
The door's open on the other side. I wonder if there's a way for us to get over there.
Unfortunately, they've trapped us in with trans-temporal laser bars, so it's not like we can chronoskim our way through them. Carmen Sandiego reference, for those who don't know. But yes, Zenkeiji said, at times like these, it's best that you look around and observe your surroundings, because...
A treasure chest. Let's see what's inside.
Because the treasure chest. Because in video games, they always trap you in an obviously escapable prison with a very obvious weak point. In fact, this one's almost exactly like the Wind Waker prison. So, yep, that's something. The Gerudo, the Moblins, and now Akira's shadows. Basically, everyone in these places follows the same law of bad prison design. Someone theorized that maybe Philemon is leaving these vents for us.
What did you find?
I think you already turned in the vague file lists,
RNG god, smile
so I'm not even sure what those are good for right now.
There's something peculiar over there.
Well, there was another part of this vent, so let's see. Insert obligatory Among Us reference here. Never actually played that. I feel like you need like a really close friend group to really get the best out of it. Though it's fun to watch voice actors playing it.
A shadow. What do we
I
do?
believe the Persona 5 voice cast actually played Among Us a few times. I distinctly remember hearing Erika Harlacher in one, and Max Mittelman.
I'm sure we can make it. Get any scissors. This is your chance.
I kind of distinctly remember this area because, I remember when I was watching this area in Lady Vigilia's live streams, this is the point where we've got on to talking about, let's just say certain things in Persona 3 that I won't spoil because we're not actually there yet, and it's kind of a really big actual plot spoiler for Persona 3. But yeah, thanks to the remake coming out, I don't really want to spoil those, but it was basically about whether or not a certain change in FES, or FES, which I now know is in Reload, whether that was for the better or not. But for now, I guess on more relevant discussions, that shadow just died, thank you Yusuke. In fact, you know what, I probably should play as Yusuke for a little bit. I feel like I haven't done that in a while.
Okay, let's keep it moving.
I mean, security is still at 99%, but... They put a breakable window in here? Yeah, wow, this really is one of the worst jails of all time. A jail within a jail, you could say. Actually, there was a joke about that in one of the Ace Attorney Investigations fan translations, and I don't know if I personally would have approved of it, because it was involving the Inception meme used incorrectly. I've always been bothered by that, because Inception does not mean something within something. It means inserting an idea into somebody else's head. In fact, Inception is kind of similar to the concept of a change of heart, really. Well, I healed, and I still got KO'd because I was stunned. I guess you can go for Masayo. I've been using Haru a little bit here, and that's because I know that there's going to be another Thor later on in this tower infiltration. And of course, having Thor is weak to Sai. That was kind of a strange series of attack cancels. I think I accidentally canceled a counter into something else. Now, if this is acting kind of like dizzy, I probably should be exploiting that a little, but I don't really know if I am the best at doing that right now. Uh-oh, speaking of dizzy, Joker's dizzy right now, or at least stunned. Oh, shocked, okay. Well, no, he was definitely not shocked before, it was a different ailment. But there we go.
And done.
Good. On to the next.
When they mentioned being ripped apart by the teleporter. Oh no, Crawler. This is getting out of hand. Now there are 3 of them. It's just like that thing I was talking about in that Sonic live stream that I did recently as of recording this. The whole there's an arc in the IDW Sonic comics where they infiltrate one of Eggman's virtual reality trading facilities, and it ends with them having to fight 3 Egg Vipers, the final boss of Sonic Adventure 1. 3 of them. Which just reminds me of, I still can't believe nobody could I asked people and nobody could really find the 3 Sephiroth hacked battle. But yeah, there used to be somebody who hacked Kingdom Hearts and fought 3 Sephiroths at the same time. Thankfully, it was really only those crawlers, no backups. That wasn't too bad. But yeah, what I was saying about the that teleporter thing is that the idea that if we ran out of the central circle, that it would scramble all of our molecules somehow. I've seen some sci-fi works that actually try and weaponize that.
How did you escape? Quit resisting and come quietly.
Whoops, looks like we got company.
So these are the jerks that sprung the trap on us?
I guess we should say thanks. Quit resisting and get stomped.
Well, the good news is that teleporter is not going to be weaponized in that way that I talked about, but like it's horrifying, but also kind of okay. Yeah, you do die pretty fast at this point. Yeah, remember I said earlier in the game that you die in literal seconds on Merciless mode? Well, late game normal can still be like that sometimes. Not really using the most optimal characters for this, but it's just like, I feel like there's only a few optimal characters in this dungeon, and as a result, it's very easy for people to get over-leveled. So I can't really reuse Ryuji right now. I keep trying to say his name like the correct Japanese way, but in my accent it always just comes out sounding like Ryuji, which I don't intend on. Like, there's no I in there, but it's it just kind of comes out. But anyway, so like, some sci-fi settings that sort of weaponize that. One of them I remember, there being something from the Planet Strike expansion for Warhammer 40,000, which was one of the older ones that I still remember liking, because it's like, it's basically about how to run a game about planetary invasions, and it's actually, I never got to play it at all. It sounds incredibly fun, because it involves scenarios like, you know, an entire invasion force, like, invading an entire planet, dropping their troops down, the defenders getting to set up laser grids and other defenses, the attackers being able to do things like... There are rules for using a tractor beam to throw meteors at the planet.
This elevator looks like it'll take us up. We've got it on lockdown.
There must be a mechanism to release it somewhere. Let's see if we can find it.
Well, this room saying security room is helpful, but the main thing that I wanted to draw attention to is that there is some cyan-nuclear energy here. Okay, then.
It looks like we can unlock that elevator from here.
So if we release the lock, we'll be able to keep going up. Can you hack it, Oracle?
Of course. Just give me the word. Don't forget to cover my 6.
Yeah, I only recently learned that cover my 6 means, like, 6 is like the rear, because it's like the bottom part of a clock.
Alright, hacking in. Make sure you...
I love these orange screens, though. This looks really cool. I've said before, but the aesthetic of this dungeon is generally pretty nice. See, I'm worried about using my goat soups because Sarasvatis might spawn and they can cancel all my buffs. Uh-oh. Somebody's already attacking Futaba, apparently. Where are they? But yeah, the thing that I was wanting to mention was that, there's one of the abilities that you can use in Planet Strike is, I think it's called Teleport Barrage. I think it's one of the Imperium's strategies, which kind of makes sense considering how horrifying the Imperium is, and they're like one of the quote-unquote good factions. But it basically is like a weaponized teleportation accident. It fires like a teleportation beam at one of the enemy's bases, with the aim of like fusing the enemy troops' molecules with the walls of the stronghold. Which, yes, would be a very horrifically painful way to die. But I remember it because it has this pure evil genius game mechanic in terms of how it works. And that is that everyone targeted by it has to roll an armor save, and the ones that pass die. So, yeah, having bad armor is actually beneficial against that. I suppose I can take the Psycho Energy. Some people have referenced M. Bison with that in the comments. Yeah, I guess that didn't really occur to me at the time, but yes, Psycho Crusher! The main version of M. Bison, I remember, is the, well, I mean, Vega in Japan. People call him Dictator just to avoid that. I mean, this is actually not a bad way to protect Futaba, honestly. But yeah, people like to call him that to avoid the weird localization issues. But anyway, and I knew it, Dekaja happened. Let's attempt to permanently Dekaja this enemy because they can't buff themselves if they're dead. But yeah, the main thing that I remember about M. Bison is that I could never beat the final boss version of him in Street Fighter Alpha 3 because that version was completely stupid. And as I've said many times in videos, but I want to say it again because it is especially irritating. You only get one chance to fight that guy. If you lose... hang on, I need to buff up my own SP a little bit. Makoto needs to get her caffeine fix in. Pretty sure she would be the kind of person who would eat a lot of caffeine, honestly. Oh, Haru went ding-dong. That's not good. If you lose that fight, you get M. Bison's ending, which is essentially the bad ending. So, you only get one shot at beating him, and he has like a super-powered version of Psycho Crusher that covers the entire screen. I think as of this point in Street Fighter canon, M. Bison is officially dead. Like, for real. I'm glad they finally moved the timeline beyond Street Fighter 3. Because yeah, like at first they thought, okay, Street Fighter 3, people didn't really like it all that much, like at the time. And then so they're like, okay, let's just set Street Fighter 4 in between Street Fighter 2 and 3. So we don't have to worry about that time skip and stuff. But then, retroactively, people started really liking Street Fighter 3.
What a skill.
Technically, I can do this at any time with Yusuke's combos, but also technically these are very similar skills. Don't think I need both of them.
I'm not seeing any shadows nearby.
But yeah, people ended up retroactively liking Street Fighter 3, so now they've actually incorporated it into the lore more. Okay, we've got what is likely to be an elevator fight coming up, and also, we've now caught up to Ryuji on a few people, so I'm gonna go ahead and drop you. I think I'll keep Makoto for now. I'll wait, no. Next up is Thor, so Ryuji will be useless in the next fight. But I'm pretty sure there's gonna be an elevator battle here.
We should be able to ride all the way up to the top like this. Maybe we can even rest before we get there.
I guess that would have been a little too easy. Come on, let's greet our guests.
Getting lots of shadow readings here. You guys are just gonna have to...
Okay, so we're only gonna have to survive for like 40 seconds, but still. 40 seconds is quite a lot in an action-based game. And those Nagas, that is why I brought Morgana, and we got Dekadred again. Here we go. I kind of feel like my, I don't know why the timer icon's gone green, but yeah, I kind of feel like something's weird with my D-pad. It's not switching between characters as well as it should. Okay, so Ryuji here should Zionga your faces off. I'm not really going to go for my Zionga combo because I feel like that's going to be a little bit too hard to get off in the middle of this kind of massive melee Mithra. The Norns completely blocked that, okay. However, I think, yes, they are weak to Curse. I was gonna remember that, we'll be fighting a Lockkeeper soon. Won't exactly tell you what the Lockkeeper is weak to just yet, but, you may be able to find out with who was useful in this whole dungeon.
Finally at the top.
About damn time! Let's roll!
Of course, a Sarasvati would get me with an attack right before I was about to end the fight. And also, yes, the music echoed my sentiments by saying, such a shame. Summer Rakam. Alright, I can just get rid of Rakam. I think at this point, really, most skills Morgana's learning are going to be straight-up upgrades on what he currently has.
Seems we're quite a ways up.
Have we reached the roof yet?
Yeah, so this fight right here, I believe, is Thor. So, can I upgrade anything worthwhile? I'll actually, yeah, complete a Thief's Challenge, Sophie. I'll take more ammo. And I had a feeling that'd be maxed out. And you have 75, wow! I kind of dread to think how much Arn has, but I don't think I need Ryuji anymore. Definitely need Haru, and then I'll take Yusuke, because why not? He's a little bit behind. Actually, no, Sophia is very behind. Let's take Sophia.
It's all you.
So I believe blast processing is... Yeah, this is blast processing. You can mash the triangle button to continue this attack. Continue for quite a while, too.
Stop! Picking up an enemy nearby. Oh, this one looks tough.
Who dare oppose the great hero Akira? My light will turn you into dust.
And so it's return of the Hammer of Justice. Except it doesn't even have the mini-boss theme. Ow! Wow, that's not good. I have a status cure, don't I? Yes, I do. So Thor is weak to... Oh, wind, okay. I don't think I used Morgana in the last fight. So, I might be able to get some... While you're distracted by the others, I'm going to start dropping my cat bus form on your face. Okay, gotta watch out, though, for Morgana's, elect weakness. Still love how Thor throws the hammer in this. Okay, let's get rid of Rage War. Oh no! Okay, good. I love how they basically are like, wow, even Sophie's in rage, as in like she doesn't get angry that easily. Haru, though, has a showtime. Let's go for this. And, kind of, iframe through this attack of Thor right here. While we're fighting Thor, though, I guess I can also mention that, yeah, I said in my Persona Q playthrough that Thor Ragnarok was my favorite MCU movie. I might have gone back on that now, especially since it's kind of like the precursor to to like the modern Marvel era where everything is just all like. I honestly though I don't really agree with the whole notion that like Marvel movies like quippy Marvel films in general are bad, because like it's superheroes, superheroes quip. That's like part of the whole genre. But I do agree that, like, some of them go a bit too far with, like, the meta humor and that kind of thing. Do I really not have anything that Thor is weak to on my personas? Okay. Let's get out of that. Let's get out of that. Yeah, fortunately, teammates aren't always super stupid. And that was Swift Strike, that wasn't even a Zeo attack, but at the same time, Swift Strike's name in Japanese has, like electricity in its name. So funny I can do follow-up attacking while you're enraged, but I can use, which is it? I don't have that, okay. But I do have Potpourri. But yeah, like, there are parts of Thor Ragnarok that I'm not as big a fan of as I used to be, but I also generally do like, I do sort of enjoy it, like I do kind of like its version of Thor more, because even though he is, like, comedic, he does have a lot of awesome moments, like the "Are you Thor, God of Hammers?" that moment, and then also the speech that he gives to Loki about Loki not wanting to change, and Loki definitely took that advice to heart in the Loki show, which I haven't actually seen, but I've heard is one of the few decent things to come out of the MCU recently. I don't think I'm even allowed to switch characters, unfortunately. I do second the notion, though, that, okay, good dodge there. Good dodge there. I was afraid for a second that me getting stuck in an animation would prevent me from dodging that. But I do not second the notion. My hot take, because I don't think anybody seconds this, is I still don't really like Winter Soldier that much. Like, it's okay, but, like, I don't get why people think it's phenomenal. It's just, like, to me, it's just another average MCU film.
An elevator.
No, we have to go up even more?
I like how Sophia's being Captain Obvious there, but she's I love those, like, I think they're like 1s and 0s that are spiraling up into the sky. That's really cool too. Like, the aesthetic of this dungeon, I feel, is kind of underrated.
It looks really high. I can't even see the top.
Well, given Konoe's elevated opinion of himself, I'd say this is par for the course.
Why is everyone hanging out with Akutsuki lately?
Guess we're going up then. We've got to get those desires back.
Cage of Arrogance. Yep, even though it looks like there's a giant elevator here, we're actually done with fighting for this infiltration. Now it's just going to be plot time.
Everyone, look!
A birdcage. So this place has one too.
Every jail we've seen so far has.
But why would Konoe's jail possess one? Is he not the mastermind behind all this?
I don't know. Konoe is supposed to be the one who created the jails, so he would have to know how they work. It wouldn't make sense otherwise. In which case, the only explanation is that he's trapped himself here with trauma of his own.
Why would he do something like that?
It could be necessary to creating a jail.
Or he didn't even know he'd done it. Some people with trauma that drives them to villainous actions are like that.
Does that mean Konoe's got some dark past too?
A guy that confident? I don't know. Doesn't really fit his image, if you ask me.
So what's the plan then? You said we need a key if we want to open this thing, right?
That's correct. And we can get a hint as to its whereabouts by touching the birdcage.
No, let me do it. I could use the experience.
So, Wolf always volunteers for this.
Good luck. Make sure you don't let go right away.
Don't go crying on us, Gramps.
And so at least Ryuji doesn't have to suffer.
Huh?
However... it's yet another The Phantom Thieves Troll Zenkichi moment.
Oof, listen to that wolf howl.
I've heard stories of cries that could shake the heavens. Could this be one of them? It's almost operatic.
Yusuke really likes Zenkichi's suffering.
You guys don't even know, man. That shit seriously hurts.
Quiet! I hear something.
Abuse? Please, that's ridiculous. We do have a dog. Maybe that's what they heard? Right, Akira?
Hey, whose voice is that?
It doesn't seem to be Konoe's.
But he said Akira. Isn't that Konoe's first name?
Whether it was your dog or not, Konoe-san, we got a tip that you've been physically abusing your son. Apparently, Akira-kun has a scar on his arm to prove it.
Look, he fell over. How many times do I have to say it? Are we done here? I'd like to be left alone.
You little shit. You see all this trouble you're causing me? Keep your goddamn mouth shut and do as I say.
Damn. What the hell was that?
Konoe's past. We were viewing the trauma he keeps locked away in his heart.
Trauma?
There, good boy. Who's a good wolf?
What am I, your pet? You guys could have warned me about that.
Well, it's not like you asked.
I feel like I've heard that excuse before.
Yeah, from yourself.
Getting back on track, I heard one of the voices mention something about abuse.
Was Konoe abused by his father?
That's terrible.
It's pretty messed up, but it doesn't justify all the skeevy shit he's been doing.
Indeed, what's past is past. Nothing changes the fact that Akira Konoe is an incredibly dangerous man who changes others' hearts and robs them of their free will.
Right. We've got to stop him.
So if being abused is the source of his trauma, then what exactly is his plan here?
We're just gonna have to ask him about it. Up close and personal.
Yeah, but first, we need the key to the birdcage. Let's head back to the real world and try to find the source of that voice.
Hey, Joker? Was Konoe really treated badly by his own father? Zenkichi and Akane were on bad terms, but nothing like that ever happened between them.
It always sucks having to have this talk with someone when they discovered this for the first time.
Why did that happen to Konoe? Aren't they family?
I mean, it hurts telling her this, but...
So some humans are just like that then. Joker, do you think family is important? Yes. I feel like I understand.
I still like the idea of the Phantom Thieves as a found family dynamic, and especially with Zenkichi involved, I definitely think Strikers does a better job of selling that than the base Persona 5 did.
If I ever get family or friends, I want to support them as much as I can.
If you ever get family or friends, you already have both!
I learned that from the Phantom Thieves. I wonder how Konoe must have felt back then.
Hey, come on you two, let's get going!
I mean, Sophia's empathizing, which is great.
Sorry to keep you waiting. Let's go, Joker.
Like, earlier in the story, she wouldn't have really made that leap of logic.
Hey.
Okay, well, I guess, I was wondering how he'd find that out, but I guess this is the benefit of knowing a cop. So, yes, we are going to be going up against the next Lockkeeper. The first Lockkeeper for actually not quite a while, because it was really only Akane who didn't have one. This Lockkeeper is weak to, as always, Bless and Curse, but it's also weak to nuclear and to electricity. I did that in the wrong order, but you get the idea. So I'm going to be bringing this party. They'll probably try and use Sophia for most of it, since she hasn't unlocked all of her Master Arts. Okay, I was wondering if we'd be level 50, but no, we're past it. We're level 51 now. We've gone up over like 10 levels since the start of this jail. Astro Bullet is a pretty cool weapon name. So is Gilgamesh Axe. Beheading Axe. And I love how Ryuji gets big sleep stick.
You want this one? You want to equip that? Thanks,
Which is probably very, unrefined slang for just a giant pipe you hit people with. And this one has Dizzy Low, which is pretty amazing for just your basic attacks. I'm not really sure what the odds are on it, probably very low given the sheer number of basic attacks that you do in this game. Now it's time to move out to likely the darkest one of these trauma rooms yet, and that's saying something.
We're here. This is the place.
So, this is Akira Konoe's family home?
Do you suppose Konoe's father still lives here?
No. He died 20 years ago.
What?
I found some police records of an incident that happened here back then. A burglar forced his way into the home and stabbed Konoe's father to death.
How tragic.
Most items of value were gone, so it was ruled as both a robbery and a homicide. They never found the culprit.
And what did Konoe do? He lived here too, right?
He was 8 years old at the time, and was the only survivor. Apparently he managed to hide in a closet. If this is the birthplace of Konoe's trauma, we'll probably uncover the truth about his father's murder as well.
Yes, let's do what we came here to do.
I'm inputting the keyword now. Everyone, get ready to enter.
This room. Are we inside the house now?
It's creepy, but I do like the red handprints everywhere.
Looks like it. 20 years into the past.
Whoa, who's that?
Is that Konoe's father?
You little shit. What do you think feeds you every day, huh? I swear you're just a bill. All you do is eat up my hard-earned money. Don't talk back to me.
Somebody, please.
No, I can't watch this anymore.
Keeping you around's a real pain in the ass. Maybe I should just kill you two.
Two?
If she just handed over the money when I told her to. Nobody ever takes me seriously.
No, not Mom. You didn't.
Here he comes, enemy of evil, champion of those in need. Listen up, viewers. It's time to band together and call for Zephyr-Man, protector of justice. Zephyr-Man!
Guess I left the TV on.
Okay. I get it now. There are no heroes. No one's coming to save me. It's up to me. I have to become stronger. I have to. I'll kill him. And then I'll be the hero.
What the fuck are you mumbling about, you freak? Not like it matters. You'll be joining your mother soon enough. I'll kill you! Looks like I'm some kind of joke to people. You wanna die? Trust me, I'll be glad to get rid of you.
And now it's time for Lockkeeper with bazookas. Sorry to kill the mood there.
This guy's sick! He really killed his own wife over some money? Unbelievable. That monster! How could anyone do something so awful?
Yours.
Let's start by debuffing.
Would you just die already? Your mother knew when to quit. Why don't you?
Watch out! It can still attack while it's moving!
Like this?
Following up! Which
So, we've definitely noticed that Akira's trauma is way worse than we may have expected. And we can now kind of get the idea of why he decided to become... why he had this whole hero complex, because he didn't have anyone to save him from this.
Don't let yourselves get caught up in the trauma. Try to stay calm.
Yeah, well, it's hard to stay calm after the shit we just saw.
I do like how they're also acknowledging that this is a very traumatic thing for people their age to witness as well. I mean, the Phantom Thieves have seen a lot of stuff. Like, they've seen definitely, truly horrible abuse and trauma in their lives. But, like, this... actually directly seeing somebody beating up their own child with the intent of killing them, hearing that they've already killed in the past. Zero bullet. Well, that's not going to be that much of a threat because of Ryuji. Speaking of Ryuji, let's swap him in. Some people think that this whole arc should have had more of a focus on Ryuji, since he definitely is, since he probably sympathizes considering that he had a physically abusive parent as well. Personally, I feel like it's not entirely necessary. I think Ryuji gets enough focus without needing a dedicated arc. That's a bit of a hot take because a lot of the P5 fanbase seems to be pretty much absolutely in love with Ryuji and sort of worships the ground he walks on. I still think he's a decent character, but I do feel like he's not my favorite in this game, so I fully admit to bias there. But I also do think that that he gets and I think just the simple fact that the bosses of this dungeon are weak to him, like that's a subtle showing that he gets what Konoe was going through, and that he does feel some personal investment in this. Similarly, Makoto has the weakness here as well because of her dedication to justice, and also just simply the fact that like nuclear makes sense as a weakness for sci-fi related enemies. So that's the main thing that I kind of chalk up with Makoto here. That and Makoto didn't really get a dedicated arc in this game. I've mentioned that. Futaba and Makoto, they don't get dedicated arcs in this game, but it kind of makes sense considering that they had by far the most focus in the original Persona 5. So they didn't really need any extra screen time. And even though Ryuji didn't really technically have his own dedicated arc, besides, also, 4 bazookas pointed directly at you. That's a scary image. Besides, like, the Kamoshida one, I guess, he's with you the whole game, and I think his bro relationship with Joker is developed enough without really any more dedicated screen time, but that's just my own personal opinion.
Konoe was trying to become a hero.
Because no one was there to save him? That's terrible!
And this also pertains quite well to something that the Phantom Thieves like to do as a group, the reason why the Phantom Thieves exist, and we're gonna see that whole thing play itself out once we get to Akira himself. Let's just say that now we've realized Akira is less of a foil to Shido, and more of a foil to the Phantom Thieves himself.
Wipe that stupid look off your face. I call the shots, you little shit.
This makes me sick.
He's somebody who went through similar kinds of trauma with people in power, in this case a father, and abuse. And he wants to ensure that it never happens again, but the way that he's going about that is not exactly good for most people in the world. We'll get a little bit more into how he plans on handling things later, but I mean, I think you might already have a decent idea of it. Just kind of almost finishing off this Lockkeeper. Nice dodge there, me. Sorry to compliment myself. We are no longer attack buff. Let's eat some more goat. Truly, the most goated food of all time. And that's like greatest of all time. I mean, granted, the internet would use a hyperbole like that. Not really a good time to be going over internet memes and stuff, but yeah. Okay, so he should be done pretty soon. By this point, you've got enough tools to deal with Lockkeepers effectively. In fact, maybe I can use my bullets to take him down.
Well, that was Konoe's father. Konoe suffered all alone for so long. Sophie.
You know, I was wondering when he'd learn this. Bless Amp now, so I'm gonna need to get rid of... I suppose I can get rid of regular diorama.
Is everyone alright?
Better than alright! Feels great knowing we put that asswipe in his place!
Akira Konoe.
If what we just saw actually happened in the past...
Then Akira Konoe escaped an abusive childhood and avenged his mother by killing his own father. He must have framed the entire thing as a robbery in order to avoid suspicion.
Now, this part leads to something interesting, because this was actually a very minor change in the localization. The localization implies that this murder was premeditated. In Japanese, it's directly said that he killed his father in self-defense. The reason for this change is that Japanese laws, apparently, are a lot less lenient on murder in self-defense. From what I've researched, there basically has to be, absolute definitive 100% proof that there was no other way, that there was no way you could have run or escaped in that situation. And so because of that, they felt that a Western audience wouldn't really get this plot point if it were purely self-defense, so they changed it to be premeditated. That being said, I do feel like, I'm not an expert with lore, but I feel like this could easily qualify as manslaughter rather than murder, because I'm pretty sure that some jurisdictions say that if there is a direct threat to life, because it was very obvious that his father was going to kill him. So I feel like this is a case where it could fall under some kind of manslaughter laws.
You're saying he's a victim of some high and mighty shitbag too?
He must have felt so trapped. There was nobody he could turn to. So he set out to become his own hero. And the power to change hearts helped him do just that.
It's just too sad. There had to be another way. There just had to.
Hey, cool it. Whatever his past was, it doesn't justify what he's doing now. Nothing makes it okay for him to take control of people against their will. If we don't stop him now, more and more people are gonna get hurt. You're all thinking the same thing, aren't you? My thoughts exactly.
Right. If we don't stop him here, then nothing's ever going to change. Let's do everything we can for now.
Yeah, if he has his way, we'll basically be getting something just like Royal's third semester, only potentially even worse. Just a completely stagnant society that's never able to evolve.
While it's true we need to change Konoe's heart, let's not forget we also need to save those whose desires he's stolen.
Then it's time we bust out the calling card.
Oh yeah, that's kind of your thing, isn't it?
But you've seen us do that several times before. Why are you surprised?
Yeah, we'll change his heart and take back everyone's desires.
Okay, let's head back to the car and come up with a plan.
And so, I'll see you next time for that plan, philosophical debates, and the big showdown. Also, Morgana is becoming a Cyclops.